Alright, what's up y'all? So here we go, we had a quick tier list I decided to do. So yeah, this is the rampant reborn tier list, and first on the list we have is Knight. So yeah, let's just get into it. Let's go ahead and see what Knight's all about. Now, Knight is kind of a more defensive playstyle character because his 3 is a counter. So as you can see, I put up this little shield. If they hit me, I stun them and then I get a combo. And his 4 is a it's this duration and these shields surround me, and it just kind of makes me take a lot less damage. Pretty good. My character only has 325 health. I guess this characters are lower, this characters is higher. It's just kind of like middle of the road. Now, his damaging moves are his 1. His 1 is really good. It has like a low cooldown. It makes you faster. It's a quick dash, 45 damage, stun. Um, Pretty nice move overall. You can kind of just throw it out, do some M1s. Yup, simple as that. And his 2 is the circular slash, and the circular slash, it does percent damage. So basically, the more health your opponent has, the more max health your opponent has, the more damage it'll do. So against this Kaiju, let's see how much it's doing. It's doing 67. But if I switch to something like Berserker, oh, not me switching. I needed to switch the dummy. Okay, so the dummy has 500 health now. Now if I do this slice, it does 100 damage. So yeah, this is just good. It's just good. Does more damage the stronger your opponent is. But downside is if you're fighting like, oh, I switched again. Anyways, if you're fighting like an assassin, you're gonna be doing only 40 with this slash. So it kind of varies depending on who you're fighting, but it's super good the higher health your opponent has. Now, as you can see, I have this shield. There's a little passive, and basically it just blocks incoming damage. It just blocks an attack. It's pretty decent. Kind of just negates some of the damage, especially if you go up against like a Kaiju and they do like one of their rush attacks that do tons of damage. It's really good. It just shields that. You don't have to take that hit. So if we come back to the tier list, I would probably have to say that Knight is probably a B tier character. I feel like you can kind of just melt your opponent's health rather than play a defensive playstyle. His damage is not amazing based on the fact that he only has 2 moves, but depending on who he's fighting, it's obviously higher. So Atomic Samurai is a high damage, low health character. And his passive is when you hit someone, you get this little number. The higher this number is, the more damage you do. So I'm doing 9, 9. I don't know if it's on M1s. Okay, there we go. It goes up to 10. I'm doing 10 in M1. Increase the damage on all your moves. So if I just keep hitting this guy, eventually I'm gonna start doing 11. Maybe when I get to 20, I'll do 11. Okay, maybe it caps out at 10. But you get the point, basically. Spawning another dummy. Spawning a healthy dummy, like, yeah. So yeah, what you wanna do is you just wanna keep your combo meter up. Just kind of keep hitting your opponent, because when you get up to 10, you get your 4, obviously. This move does a whole lot of damage, and it gets you right into another combo. Like, this guy's just dead. You want to keep that combo meter up. And if you just do that, then you can like 1 combo, 2 combo people. And that's kind of like how you play Atomic Samurai. You just want to rush at your opponent, get as much damage as possible, just throw out your skills. And then once you get up to 10, you just want to use your 4. Another thing I didn't mention is your 1, it's 2 parts. So if you hit someone and then you walk into that little circle and then press 1 again, it does that little like slice on them. I wouldn't really recommend using it because it's kind of just better to use all your combo extenders and then do some M1s, because your the second part of your 1 ends the combo. And you can't really like combo off of it either. You want to get the combos for the combo meter, get your 4 out, just like that. So yeah, if I had to give Atomic Samurai a rating, I would put him like A tier. And now we can get into the next character, which is Kaiju. So Kaiju's passive is when he deals damage, he gets these little cubes around him. As you can see on the floor, you can see these cubes. And then once I stop hitting my opponent for a little bit, then my cubes turn me red. It uses up all my cubes, it turns me red, and I do more damage, and my moves aren't cancelable. So what you want to do is just obviously dish out your damage, step back, and then go in for some attacks after that. Just like this. Now this character is very good because, like, as you can tell, the more you M1 with Kaiju, the quicker they get. He does like a much quicker flurry, and you can kind of like influence where your opponent goes based off of that. And it's a pretty good character. I would say that the armor on the red mode is very, very good. You can kind of just hit through your opponent. Very high damage character, higher health pool. He has 333 health. So yeah, this is honestly a solid character too. If I had to put him on the tier list, I would probably put him A tier. Alright, so next on the list we have Vampire. Vampire is very, very strong. Because his passive is 85% lifesteal. Crazy, 85% lifesteal. It's a lot. And this character is really good because that lifesteal, it just like sustains you. It just keeps you alive for so long, even with like the low health pool. So yeah, let's just get into this first move. The first move is a really good stun. It does a decent amount of damage, and as you can see, your opponent gets pushed back and stunned. It's pretty good. Now your second move is like a little iframe dash, and you can just come out of it, do 15 damage. It's kind of just for like catching your opponents. Just really quick, run out, hit somebody. You can use it to escape your opponent too. It just kind of depends on your situation. Now, if you get into the 3 is a two-part move here. You press your 3 once, and then if you press your 3 again, you just steal your opponent's HP. Just like your passive, you just steal their health. I think it's around like 30. And it's just super good because, man, if you just steal your opponent's health, you just won't die. Simple as that. Now, his 4 is also really good because it's a kind of an iframe move. Now, if you get into his 4 is this iframe move. You can just kind of mash it when you're in a combo. 4, just like that, super easy. Like I said, it has iframes, so they're not going to be able to hit you while you're in that, and you're just going to be able to steal their life and do even more damage just like that. Now, yeah, it's just overall a really good character. I would always keep him banned. I'm going to be honest. Just always keep Vampire banned. Now, his standing on the tier list, I would probably put him at, honestly, just S tier. This is a character that you always want banned. Always. Now, next character on the list is Marauder. Alright, so here we have Marauder, and now Marauder is a very interesting character because he has this passive where he gets stronger the lower health he is. Now, as you're going to see as we continue on, there's other characters that have very similar abilities. But, regardless, here we have his 1. It's just a quick 360 slash, and it slows your opponent. Now, the 2 is a really good move. It's this huge slam that goes very far to 70 damage. Really good. You can use that at range. And then his 3 is this dash. It's a really quick stun dash. And yeah, it's a quick stun, quick dash. Good for getting damage out. And now your 4, basically it just gives you armor on everything. So you can just run at your opponent, you can just swing at them. There's nothing they can do as long as you have the mana to sustain the move. It takes like 50 every second, I think. So you can keep it up for like a decent amount of time. But yeah, that's Marauder. And he's honestly pretty solid, but not the best. fact that there's a character that's slightly better than this, I would probably have to put Marauder in like probably A or B. I'll put it in the probably the B tier, honestly, because there's multiple characters that I would probably rather play. So yeah. Now, next on the list is Berserker. Now, I don't like fighting Berserkers, and I'm gonna show you why. So, the main reason I don't like fighting Berserkers is because of his 2. His 2 is this big slam, and it does like 100 damage. This character also has a crazy health pool. Look, 500 health, highest in the game. Just crazy amount of health. Now, his M1s are pretty slow, so I would say you don't want to just go for his M1s. At any time, you want to be able to use them. You kind of just have to like know the situation and use them when you can. Now, his 1 is this chain dash that stuns your opponent for a super long time. And as you can tell, the cooldown is also cooldown is very low. So like you just want to use this whenever you get the chance. Chain, M1, M1, M1. That's already like those already 100 damage. But another thing you can do is you can do chain into the slam. Now that combo also does a lot of damage. Now his 3 is this little like almost like a shoulder bash. And it doesn't take any mana, and you just kind of you can kind of just throw it out and then keep hitting your opponent basically. So I would recommend is like if you get the chance, do your 3, and then try and get it into your 1. So let me spawn in a new dummy real quick, and I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. So you kind of just want to kind of just go like, and then into your 1, do a slam, tons of damage. And now last move is the 4. So the 4 is it's this projectile with no cooldown. You can kind of use it anytime you want. It does 40 damage. Only issue is it drains your mana, and you can hit yourself with it. So you want to try and use it definitely out of range. Don't use it close up. But you can kind of just snipe your opponent from across the map with it. The AoE is pretty big too. You can kind of just sit back and just use this. Now, the passive on this character is very similar to the passive on Marauder. The passive on Marauder is he gets an increase in damage as he gets lower, but I have no real way to showcase that. But it starts at 25%. The lower he gets, it goes up to 50%, like 135 health. This character is very similar, where once he gets to 135 health, out of his 500 health, if he gets to 135, he gets a 50% damage boost. His cooldowns are 50% lower. He gets extra attack speed. Like it's just a whole list of buffs. So I would just overall recommend banning a Berserker, bro, because yeah, like this character just needs to be on permaban. It's too much health, too much damage. It's just overall too much to deal with. Like if you're playing ranked in this game, you don't want to go up against this guy. Don't want to go up against this guy. So now we can come over to this tier list, and oh, that's not what I meant to do. He can go up in the S tier, easily S tier. Now, next character we have is that's Viking. So let's go ahead and show off Viking for y'all. Now Viking's passive is that his dashes do damage actually. So you can dash, and yeah, it's just damaging dashes. It's super nice, super helpful. You can kind of like you can kind of do that where you can dash and then do your 3, and it's sort of helpful. Also, if you do your dash, it makes it so you throw multiple axes with your 1. So I can kind of show this off. So it throws 2 axes, and you can like extend with it. So you want to do this. So you want to do it just like that. I can show it off a little bit better over here. You want to just do that. You get a combo. Do that right into your 2, which is this really nice barrage. Now his 3 is another slam very similar to Berserker. Kind of just the same in every way. It's just a super good slam. Now if you jump, you also have like a little mini slam that you can do. How did I do it? I'm not gonna lie, I don't really play this character. But yeah, you have a different slam. I don't really use it that often. Now, yeah, I don't play this character, so I don't really know much about it. But his 4, it kind of damages you, but you get lifesteal. Just like Vampire, you get lifesteal on all your attacks. So if I just do the same combo I was doing before, I'm gaining my health back. My cooldowns are lower. Just a bunch of various buffs that you get from this, and you can kind of just abuse it. Now, yeah, that's Viking. I would say like make good use of his make really good use of these dashes, bro. You can get a lot out of the dashes if you just know when to use them. If you just know when to use them, yeah. Okay, that's how you do the slam. So you can do the slam by dashing and then pressing space, or just pressing space while you're in the air. And you can kind of do that if you don't have good aim with the 1. You can do that instead. It's basically the same thing. Basically the same thing, yeah. So now on the tier list, this character is definitely not my type of playstyle, but I would say if you're good at utilizing all of his abilities, he can kind of go, I would say, he's kind of like a high B to S tier character. The only downside is he does have less dashes than some of the other characters. Now onto one of my personal favorites, we have Assassin. And yeah, let's just show off Assassin. So Assassin, one of the main passives on Assassin is the main passive on Assassin is the fact that he has a weak spot that he can put on his opponent. So as you can see, I hit him in this direction, so now he has this weak spot, which is this arrow on the ground. So if I hit him from over here, it does 4 damage, but if I hit him on his weak spot, it triples up to 12 damage, and that works for all your moves. So as you can see, I'm doing 21, 21, 21, 21. I'm doing 12 and M1. It's just super quick burst. Now if I do it from this side, I'm doing 7, 7, 7. So you really want to make use of the weak spot that you have on your opponent, because that's how you're going to be getting lots and lots of damage out. Now his 2, this is the move that gets kind of problematic, which is this teleport. So you just throw it on your opponent, it does 5 damage in a low stun, and then you do it again and you teleport to them and then hit them away. So how I like to use this move a lot is I like to use it to like cancel my opponent's moves. If they're doing a move, I kind of just throw it out. Super simple, super easy. And yeah, you can also use this move for mobility if you want. I don't like to use it this way because I find it kind of cheap. You can kind of just teleport away whenever you want, confuse your opponent, and that's kind of how some people use it. I choose not to use it like that. But if you M1, it lowers the cooldown on your teleport. I guess it's to stop runners, because as you can see, it's going up by 100 every time I use the move. Goes up by 100, goes up by 100 until it takes up like literally all my energy. So yeah, this character is very powerful for running. So in the wrong hands, this can end up being a really bad match for you. So now we can get into his 3, which it's a super long dash and it extends. So you just wanna use that dash and extend your combo. Pretty easy, pretty good. You can kind of just do a combo like that. Now, if you get into his 4, he does this little like area, and then you click 4 again, and you teleport above them and do this slam that you can combo with. This slam is also really good because it's a iframe slam. So if someone's doing a move, you can kind of just throw that out and do a whole lot of extra damage. Now, the reason that did 84 there was because I hit him in the weak spot. It usually doesn't do that much damage. So like, yeah, usually only does like, what was that, 28 that time? But yeah. Character also has it has the lowest health pool in the game with only 200. You can burst this character down super easy, like just melt their health. And I would say, just because of kind of like how low the health is, I would probably have to put him in A tier, but he's like right there when it comes to being S, right there. And yeah, that's kind of just my thoughts on that. So next character we have is Dark Mage. Now, alright, now here we have Dark Mage. Dark Mage is supposed to be kind of like a zoner, which basically means he wants to keep you away from him. And what he wants to do is he just wants to throw these projectiles at you. Just stay at a range. As you can see, it's a low cooldown, 45 damage, really quick, really nice. You can kind of just hit your opponent. And yeah, that's kind of it. Now, when you come to the second move, it's kind of where things start to get a little bit more interesting. His second move is this little hand that comes out of the ground, and what you can do with this slam is if you just use all your mana, if you just use all your mana, you can hit them with like 3 of those. It does tons and tons of damage. Now, one thing about Dark Mage is, as you can see, he has more mana than most characters. So you can really get to spamming. If you just do 3 of these hands, you can get like 3 of them to hit. It does like 120 damage. It's really nice. Once again, you want to keep your opponent away from you, so you can just keep doing these little mana, or these little like projectiles. Now, you also have this move, your 3. It's like a really big AoE nuke you can just do on your opponent. Does tons and tons of damage. I think it's like 100 something, 140. It's really good. He has 300 health, slightly higher than like what most characters have. And now his 4 is it's like a stun move. So you do it, and I have this aura. Now if I hit him, he's stunned for extra long, as you can see. So what you could theoretically do is you pop this, run up, get an M1, do this, free damage. Free damage. Look what I just did to him. Look what I just did to him. That's 200 damage. Crazy high damage output. And now I can just range him, take away the rest of his life. Simple as that. Now, on the tier list, let's go ahead and open this tier list up. On the tier list, I would probably say that Dark Mage is honestly A tier, because his passive is also good, and it negates hit stun. So if someone comes and hits you while you have that shield up, you can just hit them back. Super easy, super simple. Just a really pretty solid passive. The extra mana is really helpful. You can stay at a range and kind of just poke your opponent. Now, last character is Fighter. So, Fighter is interesting. He's the only character in the game with 2 passives. And what he has is a stance switch. So if I press 4, I can put a black robe on, and it gives me like a different moveset. So let's just go back to the white one so I can show off these moves. So in the white mode, what you have is you have lifesteal. And what this character is good for is you can kind of just poke your opponent from a range. As you can see, I can just throw out this projectile really quick. Really quick for healing, really good. Now his 1 is good for interrupting your opponent. It's this massive AoE slam. So you can just do that big AoE, get some M1s, and it's really good. Now the move that I don't like that much is his 1. It's this like this kind of axe kick. It's like you flip into an axe kick. The only issue with that move is it's cancelable. So like I feel like a lot of the time I find myself trying to use this move, and then someone can either like dash away or they'll go and cancel it. But the 2, it's really good. You can just spam projectiles at your opponent, and it kind of works out. Now, the other stance is more my speed. Now this character has iframe dashes. As you can see, my dashes go farther, and they have iframes. I can rush at my opponent super easily. They can't hit me because I have iframes. It's just super good. But the downside is that I take a whole bunch of extra damage. A whole bunch. I think it's around 50% extra damage that I'm going to be taking because of this mode. Now, yeah, that's kind of what it comes down to with this character. Now, also another thing is his M1 damage is much higher than the other mode, or than the other mode. So you can M1 a lot, and you can get a lot done with this character. Now, it's time to actually show off the moves. So, his one is this dash punch that you can charge. It does 60 damage. A quick 60 damage. Now, if you charge it, the farther it goes in this little radius, like this little big circle I have around me. So if I just like tap it, it doesn't go as far if I were to just hold it. So you gotta make sure that you're paying attention to the range. Now, his best move, in my opinion, is 3. His 3 is this really fast dash. It's a combo extender, and it's also a 2-part move. I'll show off the second part in a minute. And then you have his 2. His 2 is, it takes up a lot of mana, but this move does a lot of damage. I believe it's percent damage. So you can just, this move has no cooldown. You can just spam this. It does percent damage, and you basically just always want to end your combos with that move. It does percent damage, like I said before. So, or no, maybe it doesn't do percent damage. I don't think it does percent damage. I think it's just always it always does 6k. So yeah, you can just press this button anytime. It has no cooldown, no downside. Basically, you always want to end your combo with it. Now, if we get back to the 3, after you do the dash, you have a couple seconds to do this barrage. That barrage is just good for stacking on damage. Pretty good to use. Now, I don't like the stance switch because it takes a lot of time to do, and the black stance is cool. It's not terrible, but you have 300 health, but you take like 50% extra damage, so it's really more like 200 health. It's just not as kind of just like super low health. The only thing that's really good about him is his dashes. I mean, the 2 does a lot of damage. I guess his moves aren't terrible, but I feel like at that point you can just end up playing assassin, and then this mode does like, or the white mode just doesn't do very much damage. As you can see, like, these damage numbers are not high at all. Super low damage numbers. It is lifesteal. It's just kind of like, I feel like this character is just doing too much. It's trying to like play the role of like vamp and assassin at once, and it just doesn't work. Definitely not a terrible character, but not where I would like him. So if you go back to the tier list, I would probably rate him kind of high B. I would say high B. And yeah, that's kind of this tier list. I would say that yeah, this is kind of where we're at with the characters right now. I would say like this is just my tier list, obviously based off my personal experiences and kind of what I did in this training room. But yeah, just let me know what you think about these characters, and that's kind of about it. So yeah.